Hello, everybody. My name is Jack Brizendine, and I'm a writer for FullPressCoverage. And today I'm going to show you how to use Wordpress, which is the publishing and editing platform that we use to write and publish our posts. So the first screen I'm showing you right now is our post screen, where you can kind of look at all your articles that you've written. You can see how many views they got. Obviously, this one did a lot better than some of the other ones. And then you can also see your SEO, which is basically how well the article's edited, and then your readability score, which is how well it would read from an audience. Typically, you want to get about a 5th grade reading level because that's just standard for any sort of thing you write. So let's get into what you would do if you wanted to add like an actual post. So first you go to add new, and you have your subtitle and your title. So what you would want your title to be is something that you're writing about. So mine would be Washington football team, for instance, and subtitle would be basically what's in your article, so readers know if they want to keep reading. So this is an article about the Washington football team. And now you've got those two things down, you can basically get into writing the meat of your article in the text box. So for instance, you could be like draft preview. And if you want that to be like your main heading, you can go here, click heading 1. If that's too big, you can do heading 2. And then let's say you want to focus on quarterbacks for one section. So quarterbacks, you go down here and maybe click like heading 4, just because it's smaller than heading 2 and shows that it's a subset of whatever this preset is. You can also do bold, you can italicize, basically anything you can do in any other Word document. You can put in links. So if you're reporting on something and there's a tweet that's involved, you can add that in. You have bullets and numbers. So if you want to do quarterbacks and then running backs, and you can also do sub ones. So quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence. All right, so let's say hypothetically this is what you want to submit, even though you'd never submit something that looks like this because it's not an article at all. You go to tags, and so the only player I mentioned in this was Trevor Lawrence. You'd click on Trevor Lawrence, and then there's a comma, and you'd also add teams that you mentioned. The only team I mentioned was Washington football team. But in any other article, you'd probably mention like a couple, like a lot more players and a lot more teams. So you'd add those. And basically what the purpose of that is, in case somebody searches up Washington football team or Trevor Lawrence, this article will pop up because it's relevant to what they're searching for. You're going to do the same thing with categories. So you're going to scroll down to the NFL because this is an article about the NFL. You're going to select NFL, and then you'll select NFC because it's an NFC team, NFC East. And then you'll click on Washington. They haven't updated the actual name, but it's the same premise. You'll make that your primary because that's what the article is mainly about, even though it is an NFC and NFC East article. But basically what that does is, in case someone clicks on NFC or NFC East on the website, like narrow down menu, this article will pop up for them. So that way they can see it because it might be relevant to what they're searching for. And then finally, you're going to pick a picture. So you're going to set your featured image. There are a couple here that I just had from the past. So let's say I want to pick this picture of Vernon Davis jumping into the crowd. Typically, you'd have some credit here. So if this were a real article, I'd have to add that in.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
And then you click set as your featured image. So that's there when it's uploaded. And then finally, when you want to submit it for review, what that does is it sends it to your editor. They fix it up. They tweak anything that needs to be tweaked. And then if they deem it good enough to be published, it's published. Your readability score, like I mentioned in the beginning, is how well your article reads. And then the SEO is mainly for the editors, just to edit the piece correctly and make sure it looks good for formatting purposes and just editor stuff that I'm not really going to go into. So I would click submit for review, but I don't want to send this to my editor. And that's basically what you do. So thank you for tuning in, and let me know what you think.